Test, 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 test.
Hey, Justin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. We're waiting one of our exhibitors to run across the street. She's receiving a scholarship from the Volusia County Fair right this second. So she's over there to pick it up, and she's going to be right back here. We're going to get the show going, and then she's got to go back over there and run for Miss Volusia County Fair Queen. So she's busy, young lady's busy, and so we're going to try to give her just a few minutes, and we're going to get started here. We always try to work with all our exhibitors with everything they do at the fair because I believe this young lady that's going to be running back over here, she's a senior, so this will be her last fair. So we try to work with her, try to work with all our exhibitors to help them out on everything they can do at the fair. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 77th Annual Volusia County Fair. Give a big round of applause. Our 11 exhibitors make their entry for the 2022 Volusia County Fair Breeding Swine Show. All these exhibitors represent the FFA clubs and the 4-H clubs and independent exhibitors in Volusia County. If you'll please stand, remove your hats, face the flag, and Miss Hannah Lisner from the Volusia Show Pride 4-H will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. If you'll take the attitude of prayer, Miss Zoe Warnsford of the Deltona High Senior FFA Chapter will lead us in a word of prayer.
Please bow and take off your hats. Dear Heavenly Father, please bless over our exhibitors tonight. Please bless over their animals. Help this show go well and smooth. Keep all of our animals and exhibitors safe. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask you to keep our barns safe through the remainder of this breeding week and into our market week next week. In God's name we pray, amen.
All right, Miss Mia Portillo of Volusia Show Pride 4-H will lead us in the 4-H pledge.
I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
And our FFA motto will be from Isabel Moss from D-Land High Senior FFA.
Learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, living to serve.
All right. We'll make a few more announcements before we send them back. We'd like to welcome y'all to the Volusia County Fair Breeding Swine of 2022. We got a lot of people that helps us out, a lot of volunteers that put on. We start this from when the fair ends and get ready for next year. So one of our biggest ones is our board of directors. So if we got any of our Volusia County Fair board of directors in the house, if you'll please stand, give them a round of applause because they work their rear ends off for us. Also, our livestock committee. If we got anybody in here off our livestock committee, the superintendents and everything, because they put on this thing, it's all volunteer hours, so nobody gets paid to do this. They're all volunteers. So give them a round of applause. And last but not least, with all the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, to all these 11 exhibitors, if y'all would stand up, we'll give you a round of applause, because without y'all, they wouldn't be here to show. All right, as they make their way on back and start getting Class 1 ready, y'all can head on back out and get Class 1 ready. And I have to say, I think the boys are scared to show breeding swine because it looks like it's an all-girl show. All right, tonight, the man of the hour, Mr. Justin Dubett, all the way from Montana, come down here to help us out with our breeding swine show. Justin currently lives in Lodge Grass, Montana. He grew up showing cattle and hogs across the country and assisting with his family's ranch, where they market a wide variety of bulls through private treaty and live sales. Previously, he was a member of the livestock judging team at both Northeastern Junior College and the University of Wyoming. He also runs his own custom welding and fabrication company where he makes custom show equipment. Mr. Justin Dubett, all the way from Montana, coming down here to the warm state of Florida. I think Justin told me when he left home it was snowing. He said he was more than happy to come to Florida. Also, as they're getting ready, we're going to go ahead and announce your grand champion tonight will receive a jacket and a banner sponsored by Lusner Feed Mills Incorporated and Seville Slaughterhouse. They get $300 and a jacket. Reserve champion gets a banner and $200 sponsored by Lusner Feed Mills and Seville Slaughterhouse. Then we will pick 3, 4, and 5, and they get recognition. Then we're going to bring them back, and we'll do a junior showmanship. They're 8 years old through the 8th grade. They receive a banner and $35 sponsored by CMW Livestock Incorporated. And then our senior showmanship will receive a banner and $35 sponsored by Brian's Barbecue Restaurant and Catering. Then we'll have 3 for the Volusia County Born and Bred. They'll receive a banner and $35 sponsored by Nature Creek Landscaping. All right, our 2021 winners last year were grand champion with Maya Coates. Peyton Gintz was our reserve. Junior showman with Maya Coates. Senior showman with Shannon Minger. And the Volusia County Born and Bred belonged to Isabella Norman Resnick. All right, there should be 4 hogs in Class 1. They weigh from 229 to 241 pounds. Haley D. showing a Hamp Cross of Pine Ridge High School FFA, 229 pounds. Peyton Gintz, a Hamp Cross, New Smyrna Beach High FFA, 232 pounds. Hannah Lusner, a Hamp Cross, Volusia Show Pride 4-H, 233 pounds. And Isabella Moss showing a Hamp Cross, D-Land High Senior FFA, 241 pounds. Class of 4 makes up Class 1. I believe that hog might be a little stage fright.
I think a real nice way to start off our breeding show here tonight on the swine. A pleasure for me to come to this state and get out of the cold. I think it was the high of about 30 today in Montana where I'm from, so pretty cool for me to come down here and evaluate your guys' stock. Definitely something I enjoy. And what he did say about thanking your parents and doing that, I do think that's important. But on to the stock here in front of me, I think there's only 4 of them, obviously, but still really high quality across the board. I do think there's one to me that just kind of sticks out in terms of some added genuine chest width, one that's a little taller and more extended ahead of her blade. She's right in terms of her rib and body. Maybe not perfect as I study her rear skeleton. She's just a notch tighter in through her hip and maybe pushing the outside plane as she drives away from me. The young lady right here with the belted gilt's going to be a champion in this class. From there, I think it gets close between 2 and 3 for me. I'm going to end up using this young lady's cheetah printed up gilt here to be second. In comparison to my class winner, she may be just a little smaller and frailer in terms of her circumference of bone, one that's maybe just not as opened up and through her chest, so there's never just quite as much gilt there for me, and that's just in a comparative stance to go ahead and be in second. The young lady that's going to be in third is this mostly black gilt, one that from the profile I think is really high quality, good in terms of balance and structure, one that is really tall and extended up front. She's right in her angles and plenty sound structured. It's just unfortunate coming and going to me is where she drives herself into third. She's just a little narrow constructed all the way through, flatter in through her full rib. Not as much mass as you study her in through her upper hip, but really just not as wide in terms of base width. Never can be quite as much gilt there. The young lady's gilt that's going to round out the class in fourth here. One that's got plenty of muscle and power, no doubt. There's a big, deep groove in terms of her top. There's a lot of dimension from behind, but it's structure for me that sorts that one down. That one's lower ahead of its blade, just a little straighter there. As much as anything needs to be leveled out into its hip, just in order to pattern and profile from the side, just too steep and has some structure issues for me where that one sorts herself down into fourth. But if we could give these exhibitors a big round of applause.
Your class winner, Isabella Moss. Second, Haley Dees. Third, Hannah Loser. Fourth, Peyton Gintz. All right, we're moving to Class 2. They are Zoe Warchford showing a Hamp Cross, Deltona High, Senior FFA, 254 pounds. Taylor Middle High FFA showing a Hamp Cross, Taylor Middle High School FFA, 264. Micaiah Bauer, York Cross, New Smyrna Beach High FFA, 267 pounds. And Autumn Johnson showing a spot, Taylor Middle High School FFA chapter, 267 pounds. Four pigs make up Class 2.
I think another nice class here. I don't know if just any one of these are perfect. They all have an issue for me, but there is one that puts the most good together. The young lady's black-headed gilt up here does it for me. At least shoulder back, you study that one in terms of her angles. She's really good. There's a lot of brood sow power in that kind of rib and body. Works with a tremendous amount of width up high. Yeah, she's maybe just not as fresh and deep in terms of her groove into her top, and maybe just not as youthful back into the seam of her ham. There's still plenty of true muscle and mass, and she gets out and goes as sounding true and genuine as any of them. You study her down low. Does she need to be a bit more feminine and extended up front? Yep, she sure does. But other than that, that one's the best and just needs to go ahead and win. Now from there, the young lady's blue spotted gilt here is going to go ahead and be in second. A gilt that's really fresh and youthful. A gilt that from the side is still good enough in terms of her angles. There's a lot of dimension and shape up high. In comparison, that one's a little flatter as you study her in behind her shoulder. She's a little more pinched in her hip-loin junction and probably just gets a bit more uncoordinated as she plants and pushes driving away from me. Just like to see her a little more genuine from that perspective, where that one's going to go ahead and be in second. Now, between 3 and 4, I think there's some similarities, maybe gilts that maybe aren't presented at quite the same level in terms of muscle shape as the other two, maybe just not as wide constructed. That being said, there's one that's probably just a little more stylish up front. The young lady's black gilt has got some length and extension, some length of body everywhere, and some depth of rib. In comparison, though, that one is just kind of narrow constructed and flat for me. I like that one to go ahead and be in third. The young lady's just going to go round out the class. Has got a lot of length of body. She's got some width up high, but as much as anything, that gilt's the straightest off either end. A gilt that's really permanent to the set of her hock, especially the right rear, and just needs to be more pig there for me. It's the narrowest constructed one in the class, but let's go ahead and give these kids a big round of applause.
Your class winner, Micaiah Bauer. Second, Zoe Warford. Third, Taylor Middle High FFA. And Autumn Johnson shuts the door on the class. All right, we're going up to the big girls here. There are 3 of them in the last class, 287 to 304. They are Mia Portillo, showing a Duroc, Volusia Show Pride 4-H. Haley Patton, showing a Hamp Cross, New Smyrna Beach High FFA. And Collie Joe Rinke, a Hamp Cross of Pine Ridge High School FFA. 3 head makes up Class 3. At the end of Class 3, we'll be bringing all our first place winners and we'll pick a grand champion.
I think another nice class here. There is one of them to me that is just better than the other two in terms of that one's proportionality, look, style, to come with that kind of muscle and power. I will say she does push the outside plane of her skeleton as you study her from behind, and I would like to change her there. She maybe could be just a little more fluid in terms of her step. She kind of jabs it to the surface, but the young lady's wide-belted gilt here is going to go ahead and be your champion. I think from there's some different types and kinds. Maybe one of them that's just a little more feminine in terms of her look and style from the side. One of them that's a little truer in terms of muscle and power. Both of them in comparison just have some bigger gaping holes for me. I guess for me, muscle and power never goes out of style. When I think about breeding in some look, there's quite a few boars that are really exotic fronted. And so to me, the young lady's black belted gilt's going to go ahead and be second. Compare that one to the Duroc in third. That one's a little more true and genuine about a rib. Builds a foundation for some additional mass up high. She's also working with some added circumference of bone and foot, and so those are bonuses for her. Now she is just a little shorter fronted. She does probably want to concave as she drives away from me in terms of how she meets to the surface, and I would just like to make her more genuine as she drives away from me from that perspective. But there's still plenty of muscle and power there, just not near as attractive as our class winner. Probably not as sound structured either, but a nice gilt for the young lady to go ahead and be in second. The young lady's Duroc in third. Now what she does right, I do think she probably does the best. You know, that gilt's the tallest and most extended up front. She's phenomenal in the angle of her blade, gets out and goes with a lot of length of hip and hits to the surface, really sound and fluid. She's genuine, but the problem is she's genuine and narrow constructed for me. It all starts from her chest forward. She's narrow constructed. Doesn't allow her to transfer back with any added muscle and rib cage from there. She's just a little narrow constructed for me. Not quite as much gilt there to go ahead and be in third. But let's give these kids a nice round of applause.
Your class winner, Carly Jo Rinke, second. Haley Patton, third. Mia Portillo. She don't want to leave. All right, as they work trying to get this one out of the ring, because she don't want to go. All right, we're going to bring all our class winners back, and we're going to pick the 2022 Volusia County Fair Breeding Swine Grand Champion. Out of Class 1, Isabella Moss. Out of Class 2, Micaiah Bauer. And out of Class 3, Carly Jo Rinke. Worked this hard, did you? Your grand champion will receive a jacket and a banner and $300 sponsored by Losing Her Feed Mills and Seville Slaughterhouse.
not going to be too long-winded. Just let them get a break here. Like I said earlier, I know there's only 3 classes. Not going to be a big grand drive speech, but if you kids would just do a couple things for me, and I know we still got showmanship and a couple other things, but if you folks, after you're done here today, would just thank your parents and your brothers and your sisters and anybody that's breeding them or helping you feed, anything like that. I know when I was showing up in 4-H, 4-H is a family project. My best memories are in the show ring with my brothers across the country. It's something you don't get in any other activity. An activity that I think is being lost and is super important. You don't get the mental attitude and drive from anything else. Makes competitive, just good folks. So if you guys would just do that for me after the show, I think that's really important. And then if you would also just give a big hand to the folks that are helping put on the show. The hours are immense to do that. We put on a couple jackpots when I was in Colorado, and that's a thankless job. So if you folks would just do that. Man, I know numbers were small, but really across the board, all pretty high quality stock. Especially these top 3 that are out here. I do think they can compete just across the U.S. pretty well. Definitely a strong showing and pretty impressive. I didn't know what to expect coming down here, but I am pleased, very pleased. Been fun. I know we still got some more here tonight. That being said, there's 2 of them that just stuck in my mind coming through that I think are very similar, have some similar issues for me, but do the same things at a high level. One of them to me just maybe hits me more as a true brood sow and just got a lot of generating potential in her. I've already talked. I'm not going to describe them that much more. The young lady's out of the last class, so go ahead and be her champion. Take nothing away from the one that'll be in second. Maybe to me just didn't hit. Yeah. I still know my reserve though. Yeah. We'll bring that second in as well. Bring that second place in. There's still another one for me that needs to be in second. Very similar to our champion in terms of look and style and mass and power. Maybe just not quite as much bone. Maybe not quite as long and level her out and through her hip. But the young lady right here is going to go ahead and be a reserve. I think a nice second place out of that first class to come in here and represent them, but I'm going to end up using the other young ladies first to go ahead and be third overall, one that's pretty similar in terms of those other class winners that just brood sow power and dimension. The young lady right there is going to go ahead and be third. And then for fourth and fifth, I think a good showing out here to go ahead and do that. The young lady right here is going to go ahead and be fourth. And then between these other two, I think maybe one of them is probably just a little more unique in terms of look and style. Another one maybe could be a little more feminine up front. But like I said in her class, the muscle and power never goes out of style for me, especially with that kind of circumference of bone. And this lady right here will go ahead and be fifth.
All right. Your 2022 Volusia County Fair Breeding Swine Grand Champion was Collie Joe Rinke. Your reserve champion was Isabella Moss. Your third overall was Micaiah Bauer. Fourth overall was Haley Dees. And fifth overall was Haley Patton. All right, we're going to go to our junior showmanship. There's three of you. They're Hannah Lusner, Taylor Middle High FFA, and Mia Portillo. They will receive a banner and $35 donated by CMW Livestock Incorporated. Your Volusia County Born and Bred Champion receives a banner and $35 sponsored by Nature Creek Landscaping. Your fourth overall pig was Haley Dees. She is your Volusia County Born and Bred Champion. And if I remember right, that comes from Flying Cross Ranch, Elite Show Pigs out of DeLon Springs. And for the last 3 years, that man has bred the Volusia County Born and Bred Champion.
we get a big round of applause for the juniors? I think it's important to encourage them here, as these will be the future of you guys' show. I think a nice group of kids. One of them is obviously fighting her pretty well, but she's handling it, staying calm and cool about it. The young lady that's going to win, Pig's working for her pretty well, really good in terms of eye contact. I asked him a trick question in terms of how many barrels were born in the U.S., and she didn't even phase her. Answer 0, so I always get some funny ones on that. But she does a really, really nice job in terms of eye contact, really in control of her pig. The young lady right here is going to go ahead and be your champion. I'm going to go ahead and just talk the other two right now. The young lady here with the Duroc, she's doing a really nice job. You know, obviously showmanship, sometimes your partner doesn't want to work with you. But when she does get that one driving out, really nice job in terms of getting that one's head up. She does get eye contact. And in the show, she did give me the viewpoints. Pig's just fighting her pretty hard, and so that's where she'll end up in second. The young lady that's going to end up in third, man, maybe one suggestion I could tell you is just give me some eye contact, and that's only a showmanship thing, but something that is pretty key in showmanship. We'll just go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and one more time just give these kids a nice round of applause.
All right, test 1, 2. All right, now we're going to move into our senior showmen. Your senior showmen are 9th grade through the 12th grade. They receive a banner and $35 sponsored by Brian's Barbecue Restaurant and Catering. Haley Dees, Peyton Gintz, Isabella Moss, Zoe Warrensford, Micaiah Bauer, Autumn Johnson, Haley Patton, Kylie Jo Rinke. Well, I think our grand champion, Kylie, she's the one that had to go back and run for Miss Volusia County Fair pageant. So she said she'd forgo the showmanship to go back over there. So she wants to be Miss Volusia County Fair. All right. We're going to give you a little announcement what our judge told these young ladies. He's going to have both gates open. If your hog goes back through the gate, you're done. So this way they have to keep them out here, keep them working. So that's what he told the young ladies in there. He said, we'll have both gates open. If they go back through the gate, I'm sorry, but you're done.
get to pick a champion out here today, make one individual happy here in the showmanship. I talked to those folks that did leave about one or two things that would maybe help them out, and just in terms of some personal preference things for me. But there is one lady that I really, really like her style, like her intensity, doing a heck of a job of showing me viewpoints in terms of chest and profile and rear view, staying the right distance away from me as well. Just doing an excellent job. The young lady right here is going to go ahead and be your champion.
Your senior showman, Isabella Moss. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the 2022 Volusia County Fair Breeding Swine. If you enjoyed it, give them a round of applause for all our exhibitors and our judge that come all the way from Montana. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we will have our breeding sheep show right here at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. 5 o'clock on Saturday will be our breeding heifer show. Then we take them all out of here on Sunday, bring our market animals in, and Monday night we have market lambs, Tuesday night we have market hogs, Wednesday night we have market steers, and on Thursday night we have the auction. So our grand champion 2022 Volusia County Fair was Collie Joe Rinke. The reserve champion was Isabella Moss. Third was Micaiah Bauer. Fourth with Haley Dees, fifth with Haley Patton. Your junior showman with Hannah Lusner, and Isabella Moss with your senior showman. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the Volusia County Fair. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and God bless you. Have a safe trip home.
This is the one for the fair.
Test one, two. If any of our exhibitors in the back would like a picture with your judge, your top five, your champion showman, we got our banners right up here. We'll take them right out here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you give us about 45 minutes to take pictures, we'll get the barn straightened back up, and you'll be more than happy to walk through those doors and go see our livestock back there. It's about 45 minutes, and we'll be ready to go with that.